Welcome to the Business Spotlight podcast. My name is Kay Cote, and I'm your host for today's episode. And today on the show, I have Christi Van Rite, founder and CEO of White River Consultants, as my guest. We're going to be learning about her business, her journey to business ownership, best practices, and challenges that she's faced to give you that inside look to what it's like to build and operate a business. Welcome, Christi. So great to meet you. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's going to be a great conversation, but before we dive into all things business, I'd love to share a bit about you. So, take us back as far as you'd like and share a bit about yourself.
My career started 20 something years ago in wealth management, and we've man, it's been a journey. So started in wealth management and fell into the family office space, quite frankly. I had a family that I was working with. Um, when I was still a young advisor. And as that family started taking money off the table, uh, for whatever reason, originally, I started getting the, hey, hey, can you help? How do I do this? Can you take care of questions? And my personality is, how hard can it be? I can figure that out. It's only gotten me in trouble a few times over the years, generally works out. And in this case, it did, because they just kept asking the questions, and I kept saying, I'll figure it out. And that led to what I like to call my second career in family office, having the opportunity to walk alongside of a family as they were growing and figuring out what wealth meant to them and how to operate in this new landscape. That was just such an incredible opportunity. And we got to a point that I couldn't do it inside the box, the compliance box that I lived in at the time. And I said, well, not sure. And she was like, Christy, we've looked around. We've tried to replace you. We haven't found it. You've looked, I've looked. Can't you just keep being the glue for my family? And I said, you know what? I think I can. And I started the firm and haven't looked back. That was 10 years ago. It's been a great, wonderful ride. Such an education every day. Every day is a wonderful education. So that's how I got here. Born and raised in Texas. And yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Oh, I love your story, especially like sometimes that's so true. Like you have that client that
Yeah.
you're serving and you're realizing, oh, I can do this better on my own, or like you can serve them better. So
Yeah.
very cool. Well, congrats on taking that chance and continuing and starting your own business. And so 10 years now. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so you mentioned you work in wealth management with families. Now, can you paint the picture? Like, what is your ideal like client archetype? What is that? Like, if I were to walk through your doors or give you a
Yeah.
call, how would I know I'd be a good fit for you?
Yeah, so our ideal families typically have a net worth somewhere between 105 or 600 million. The reason that I say that is because the work that we do, we effectively provide that chief of staff role or chief operating officer role. So if you think about running 100 or two or $300 million company, which is still fairly on the small side, you would still never run that company without a COO, a CFO, a chief of staff. You have these people in your business to help things move along. I like to say we run the business of the family so the family can go and run the family business, whatever that is. And so there comes a point where complexity and just the daily challenges of getting things done and coordinating advisory teams and, you know, there's just a lot of things. that you just need a little more help. And so for us, we have found that that's really our sweet spot. Our families tend to have multiple homes across the country or around the world. They're active. They're either still entrepreneurs, they're running their business, or they've just exited and they're, figuring out what that next phase looks like. But they know it has to be done, and they don't want to have to be the ones to do it. And that's where we come in.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, like having a
Yeah,
CFO of your family, which
literally.
that's
Yeah.
exactly that's very cool. Okay, so now tell me about the business. Like what does your ownership structure? Are you the sole owner?
I am. I am. I am the sole owner, founder and CEO. There's going to come a point where that's not going to be continue being the case. We've built an amazing team over the years, and I hope that the plan is to expand that out for employee ownership, so everyone really also gets to enjoy, the fruits of being a part of a team, a growing team and a growing company. But for now, I am the sole owner.
Oh, that's wonderful. And you mentioned a team. Tell me about your team. How many team members do you have right now?
Do. So I have three full-time team members on staff, and then we have several other incredible people who also work for us, either on a part-time basis or just a 1099 basis, to come in when we need their expertise. So yeah,
Okay. Awesome. Now, looking at your day to day, especially as the CEO and the position you're in right now,
yeah.
do you spend most of your day working in the business, on the business, or is it a lot of both?
Honestly, it's a lot of both. We are growing, which is wonderful. I wouldn't have it any other way, but it does present, I think any founder comes on this challenge. You want to work on the business because that's what continues to grow the business. But there's also a talent challenge sometimes. I mean, sometimes you just have to get in and roll your sleeves up and do the work, right? And so, or work through a problem with the staff, or work through a challenge, or work through a new process. And that happens to be one of my gifts, is taking something incredibly complex and simplifying it down into a relatable, a repeatable, and a process that people can follow, and that the families can understand what's gonna happen. And so I find that I do still step into the working in the business periodically,
Mhm.
probably more than others say I should. But so it's definitely still a blend. We're getting there. I think there's as my other team members, they get more comfortable and start they're already some of these ladies have worked for me for 8 or 9 years now, since the beginning. And so they're good. They're very good at also doing this. I just really love doing the work. So I I split time between the two.
Oh, that's awesome. And
Yeah.
and very true. It's a lot of times it's like ebbing and flowing with like the demands of the business and where it's at.
That's true. Look, when the financials need to go out and it's tax season, it is all hands on deck.
Mhm.
Like, generally speaking. So, yeah,
About this time of year, it kind of kicks in, doesn't it?
it really does. Yeah, it really does. Yeah. We don't take vacations. Like, everybody's vacations are planned outside of the tax season, the big tax seasons, and that's fine. That's just part of the job. But yeah, sometimes big onboarding, a big project. You need all the eyeballs and hands working together. So
Oh, very true. Very true. Now, looking at like you mentioned you are looking to expand. Where do you see, let's start with this year, like 2026. Do you have any goals or like what do you feel like you're going to accomplish in 2026?
we spent 2025 really shoring. We had a big growth spurt. 22 through 24. And the amazing thing about growing rapidly, um, and for us, rapidly wasn't like quantity of clients, it was complexity of clients. And so that showed us a few places that we needed to go and build processes for. We needed to shore up the communication, reinforce the information bridges between advisors. Those things that really support our family operating system, we found a need to create and do more of. And so we did those along the way, but at some point, you really have to go back and say, okay, this was our Band-Aid. This got us through. We understand how this works now. Let's go back and tie this together. And so that a lot of 2025 was really bringing together the things that we put in place because we needed it at the time, not because we knew, we needed it before, to serve a purpose for a family. And so we spent a lot of last year really leaning into technology to help us be more efficient, give better results, give quicker results back to our families and our advisory teams. And nailing down and really tying those operating policies and procedures together. And so this year, um, we feel really good about going back into another growth, another growth year. And so our goal this year is actually to expand, to bring in two new team members full time, to expand our capacity in a couple of areas that we really want to be able to do more for. So yeah, so grow in team and then grow in clients.
And that with that expansion, what do you see, or maybe you're faced with like different challenges with that? Because I know growing pains are real. Growing is amazing, but how are you working through the growing pains?
Yes, growing. There are opportunities and challenges in everything that's happening. The thing for us is bringing is talent. I mean,
Mhm.
that has always been one of my. I'm blessed because I really do have an incredible team. As we grow, though, we really have to protect that culture. We have to protect you know, mediocrity is not anywhere in our lexicon, and it cannot be in the future. We have extremely high standards. Our families expect extremely high standards. And so anyone that's coming into the firm really has to feel comfortable working at a very high level, have high capacity, have high, EQ, IQ, um, all of those things because they matter for what we do. The details matter. You don't send a report out because it came out that way. No, you edit it. Does the family want cents? Do they want dollar signs? Do they, so the details matter. And so the bringing in talent has been the challenge. I'd like to hope, I have my fingers crossed, that I have done a better job of pursuing is not the right word necessarily, but cultivating new team members to come in because at this point we've been around a while, we've been able to have conversations and we've been talking to several ladies about what would this look like? Would how would you handle this? Would you enjoy working for a remote firm? Because we are remote. A lot of people want to go to an office. They want to have that interaction. And so it's got to be good on both sides, but they've got to have such a high level of detail and expectations for their work output, but for themselves as well to really do well in this role. Talent is hands down our challenges.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm just kind of taking notes as we go. That's a big thing. That's a big thing, especially as you're like a growing team and you're like seeing this next phase of what the company looks like. And
Yeah.
um, thank you for sharing about those things. And, on your team currently, I want to hear about your team members. How are they like stepping into leadership or growing? I'm sure as you are seeing them grow as you're growing.
It feels so good. I love, again, I'm incredibly blessed. The two ladies have been with me, one truly almost since the beginning, Michelle. Um, her willingness to, first of all, her background set her up well for this, without doubt. But her willingness to literally walk beside me as I'm building the business, and say, I see you doing that. Can I can do that. Let me take a run at it. You can fix it. You can edit it, but let me take a run at it. Um, and then, in the beginning, I think as a young business owner, young entrepreneur, you don't feel like you can take vacations. You don't feel like you can step away from the business, because what if they call and they need something and someone can't handle it? I'm the one that knows this information. Um, she has done such a good job, I would say, growing me to a place to, let her give her additional responsibilities over the years for her to show me that she can take on much more than what maybe her role or her title would indicate. And so it has been an absolute pleasure watching her grow into this this higher level role and just continue to say, you know what, I can do that. Let me take a run at it. Um, and same with Lauren, our lead accounting manager, and Sherry. Sherry's constantly, why are you doing that, Christy? Hand it over. Like, you can credit, you can fix it, you can do whatever you need to later, but let me take a stab at it. And so it's just such a good feeling when they come back and say, why did you make that decision? Tell me what you were thinking here. And it's purely from a standpoint of, I really want to understand what you're thinking here, because I don't want you to have to keep doing it. I know I
Mm,
can do it. I just need to understand a little bit more. That is, I think as the business owner, you can't ask for anything else from your team, to want to grow themselves.
that is a like golden team right there because
I
like self-driven like
Oh, I know. I always tell people, I'm like, you've got to be batteries included with us.
yeah.
Like, we hit the ground running, and I am a classic entrepreneur. I see squirrels. I have lots of ideas. And you know, uh
We're
so
the, we're the same that way. I'm sitting here like internally like yes, I feel you.
like, I think it's just part of being an entrepreneur. But bless their hearts, like, they have to be able to say, Christy, we hear you. We think that's a super cool idea. What do you think about if we finish the idea that you had 2 weeks ago? If I were to make you, if you had to prioritize this, where would you put this in our lineup? Um, so I'm getting better. I, I'm Hopefully they would say the same. I don't know. But you got to have people around you that can also say, I hear you. Let's talk about that after we finish this one. Um, so, or say, that sounds really important, like probably more important than this. Do you agree? Yeah, yeah, I do. This is a big one. They're like, okay, okay, let's move it around. So
Oh, it's like a filtering system and they've got you, because you're all
that's
in it.
exactly right.
That is
Yeah,
that is like a golden nugget of this conversation. It's just like
yeah,
when your team shines and that it just makes the business so much. It takes all that stress, just like
It
that
does.
the facts. Okay. I love
It
that.
does. Yeah, I have no qualms now about taking vacation, about being I was out almost all last week speaking at a conference and then doing some other events. I say, Sherry, you got all the email, all of my personal emails. Have fun. Michelle, you got all the family emails. Like, the whole point, I think, is hire people who are better than you at what you who can be better than you at what you do. You're gonna have to teach them something. That I mean, that's, standard, whatever that is for you. But hire people who genuinely want to be able to take things off of your plate
Mhm.
and then let them
That's
because they will grow faster if you let them.
truth. Oh, such truth. This has been such a fun conversation. Now I want to take us through our rapid fires. So these are going to be four questions, and they're very top of mind. Are you ready for
Okay,
some rapid fire?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay. Question number one is, what is a key to success for you?
Clarity, consistency, and for us, it's putting our family's needs first, our clients' needs first.
Very powerful. Love that. The second question is, what is a piece of advice you have for other business owners?
Build something, build systems that are going to outlast you. Don't be the bottleneck. Get out of your own way.
Very true. Very true. Number three, this is a fun one. It could be a book, a podcast, an article, just anything that's resonated with you recently.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I was just talking to Michelle about this. I am listening to the book um, Meditations for Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Joe Dispenza.
Oh,
I know. Yeah.
I'm writing
It's
it down.
I yeah, it has been like mind-blowing and fantastic. Highly recommend.
I love Dispenza's work too. Yep.
Me. Yes.
So good. That's a whole nother podcast we
I
could talk.
know.
Uh,
Quantum fields, I'm in.
I I am such a nerd about that stuff. I'm like, see, if you can feel someone's energy, it's proven now.
You can. I agree. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Final question in the rapid fire, and take your time on this one.
Okay.
If I gave you a magic wand and you could rapidly improve one aspect of your business, what would it be?
Um, it would be marketing to people who don't know they need services, who don't know they can raise their hand and ask for better.
Mm.
That has been that has been a big challenge actually. So if I could wave a magic wand and help everybody understand and know that raise your hand if you need help. Doesn't matter if you're even asking the right person, they can get you to the right person. 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
It's they have proved the 6 degree thing. There's a video
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to send you. It's like a podcast.
Oh, I would love it. Yeah. It's true though. I mean, I spent half of my time connecting people, connecting families to other providers and practitioners to other groups. Raise your hand, just raise your hand and ask for help. And recognize when you're the frog in the boiling water
Um,
sometimes.
That's a
Yeah.
big one. That is a
Yeah.
big one. It's easy to it's a blessing and a curse that CEOs, founders can hyper focus, but
Yes.
then sometimes we miss like we're in the boiling right now and it's like,
True.
ouch, that burns.
Right. Right. How many times do you have to get burned before you say there's got to be a better way? If you ever thought to yourself, there's got to be a better way, there is a better way. You just need to start asking around. You'll
Yeah.
get to the right person. Somehow it will happen.
Ask and you shall receive.
Ask and you shall receive.
Oh, Christy, this has been a great conversation. I want to get our listeners and viewers plugged into you and your business. And so, how can people find you and your business online?
So you can find us at whiteriverconsultants.com, or I'm on LinkedIn. Just Google Christi Van Rite.
Awesome. A final question of the day, Christy. What is most inspiring to you today?
I think I'm the most inspired by our families when I can see them when we first start working together, and there's just a lot going on, and they're trying so hard to keep it together,
Mhm.
and then they let it go, and they go with it, they go with the systems, and you can see that visible release coming
Mhm.
off of their shoulders. That I don't have to be the one that worries about that anymore. I think that's such a powerful reminder for daily life. At some point, you just got to let it go. And that is such a fun way to be reminded. Because I also need that reminder a lot of times. So
Oh, same. Oh, wonderful. Well, this has been such a great conversation. Thank you for sharing your insight, sharing about your business, and being a guest for today's episode.
thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being here.